Respect. A feeling of deep admiration for someone or something elicited by their abilities, qualities, or achievements.
If you don't respect me, don't bother with the love. It just doesn't work in my world. I won't go to a place where I'm not respected because love doesn't matter to me. Respect matters to me.
Now, I wanted to show those two examples. One of a previous time where Kody talked about love and respect. And the second example comes from the next tell-all where he talks about love and respect, or tell-all in the future, during his discussion about Janelle and Christine and how he feels about love and respect and why respect is so important to him. But the one thing I did want to say to buttress that point is that Kody, respect is not for those who demand it, but instead for those who deserve it. Hi, my name is James, and this is my take on reality. In this episode, I wanted to talk about Kody, his whole idea of manhood and respect and love and how it affects his life, and more importantly, how it affects other people, as well as how he is trying to transition from being the polygamous role model to being a role model for those in the manosphere. Now, before I get started, I wanted to simply say thank you to anybody who takes time to watch my videos. I genuinely appreciate it. You could spend these moments of time with anybody else on YouTube or doing anything else in the world, and you chose to spend that time with me, and I greatly appreciate it, and I wanted to go ahead and acknowledge that. Second, I wanted to thank all the people who have subscribed to the channel. You guys are really helping me out. You're really helping with the algorithm, getting the videos out so more people can see them, enjoy them, and hopefully take away and we can add to the discussion and the whole discourse between men and women and how relationships move forward. For those of you not yet subscribed, I would ask that you consider subscribing. It's easy to do. It's fun to do. And hey, you get to reserve your seat at the cool kids table. Now, really, it helps the channel out. It helps me out. And hey, who doesn't want to help a brother out? So go ahead and hit that HBO special, which stands for Help a Brother Out special, down below by clicking the subscribe button, as well as hitting the bell for notifications on when I upload new videos. And don't forget, sharing is caring, so share the video. Thanks. Now let's get it. When we talk about an example of polygamy, I don't think that Kody is a strong example of how polygamous relationships would work and what you should try to strive for if you are even thinking or considering being involved in a polygamous or polyamorous relationship. If we look back at how Kody describes his endeavor and desire to want to be on the TLC Sister Wives whole TV show and the project, it all started because, according to him, he came up in his mind with the idea that the Brown family could be the example of polygamy. Ultimately, his family would be the role model of what polygamy is and would introduce this type of marriage and this type of relationship into the mainstream. Now, when we get later on, as he starts to peel off wives left and right like a bad habit and people are just leaving town, all of a sudden he has to find a new bag. And I think Papa's new bag is trying to enter into the whole manosphere element that exists on YouTube as well as some other places. Now, with that, I will say this. Kody's attempt to try to exhibit these masculine tendencies by borrowing these little catchphrases like the pick me, and I ain't afraid of nothing but poverty. So I ain't afraid if a woman leave me. Go ahead, girl, go bye. I don't need you. See ya, because I'm a man of interest and I'm a man of means. I'm a high value man because I make more than six figures. And all that. I think that he's starting to try to delve into that whole thing, and it's destroying what little bit of family that he has left. There's a lot of negative influences and a lot of negative aspects of the way that he's trying to push that forward. I'm not going to say that polygamy in and of itself is an evil thing and nobody in the world could ever do it. I'm just saying it is extremely hard and it's extremely difficult for you to be able to carry it out, particularly if you are sitting at the experience level of somebody like Kody Brown and his approaches to it. And if you start to throw in a lot of the red pill community and the manosphere attitudes into that situation, you're going to blow yourself up. Anything is good except for when you start to get to the extremes of anything. The modern women and feminist groups aren't all bad. But when you start to get to the far ends of the extremists, then it becomes very difficult. All men are the prize, women ain't nothing. That's bad. All women are everything and men ain't nothing. That's bad. Men are interchangeable, women are interchangeable. That's bad. What these two groups tend to do, especially when you get into the extremes of it, they begin to make all women and all people interchangeable. And that becomes problematic. And that's what you have when you're dealing with Kody's situation. To him, all his wives are the same. And being a leader, and especially an effective leader, not only do you want and need respect from the people who are following you, but you have to respect the people who follow you even more so. You as the leader have to respect the people beneath you, even in some cases more than they respect themselves. You have to love them more than they love themselves in order for you to be a truly effective leader. And not only that, you have to recognize each individual for the contribution that these individuals are making. And that's where Kody is failing. He doesn't see, to him, there's no difference between Christine's contribution, Janelle's contributions, Mary's contributions, and Robin's contribution. Everybody should be like Robin and treat me the way Robin does because Robin treats me the most ideal way. So therefore, Janelle, Christine, Mary, you guys all need to follow suit with her and find out what she's doing, what recipe she's using, and that's how our relationships will be successful. But that ignores the contributions that, say, Christine was making. Is she's being the homemaker, the home care person, the person who is organizing the parties, the person who's taking care of the children and making sure all the kids' needs are met in order for the family to function. That takes away from Mary, who is coming in and she's providing a significant amount of the financial support that the family needs in order for them to move forward, be able to put food on the table and a roof over the head. It also ignores the strength that Janelle brought in, not only mentally, physically, and supportive-wise as far as her personality and character, but it also ignores the fact that she was the one who was financially taking account for what was going in and what was coming in. She was basically the accountant for the family. She was the one that was helping to process the taxes, make sure everything is getting paid, make sure everything is being done right. She's the one that was maintaining the accounts. And if Kody is looking at all these people and you think that, well, all of them can be replaced and you don't appreciate them, so therefore nobody is valuable, and you can put Robin in, hey, Robin, you just toss her your taxes and hope that she does a good job like Janelle used to do, you are going to fail in that situation. So that's where I kind of come to that conclusion. Also, with that whole mindset, it talks a lot about like high value men and men being high value because they make a certain amount of money. And in that course, in that train of thought, what it refers to is the man's need or the desire or the ideal nature of a man to be able to be the provider. The problem with Kody being the provider is Kody isn't providing anything. He is participating in the money venture that all the other wives are participating in. The show brings in a lion's share of their income, at least from what I can see from my pocket watching. And I'm sitting on the side. I don't have his books. I don't know what's going on in his wallet. But from what I see and from what I hear and from what I hear the wives say and the hints that they leave, a majority of the money that they utilize is money that is earned by TLC. Now, according to some reports, Kody and the family are making somewhere in the neighborhood of $700,000 to $750,000 a year on this show. Him saying that he's the provider, if you look at it and say you're the provider, that means that when Janelle was sitting there saying that she was homeless and she moved into the fifth wheel and you complained and bitched and moaned about her moving into the fifth wheel, then winter was about to hit, she was going to be uncomfortable, she said, I'm going to get an apartment. She went and got an apartment, then you came by and you complained about how small the apartment was and why it wasn't nice. See, a true provider, and if you wanted to be the boss and you wanted to dictate what happened in her house and what furniture got moved in and what was going on in those four walls, then what you should have did as the provider, you should have walked in, said, Janelle, here's your new apartment. Apartment keys, apartment's already paid for, down payment's been laid, the first, last security has already been paid, and there's already money to set aside that's going to go towards that rent. You know, all you got to do is move your stuff in on Saturday. I'll be by on Friday, sleep over, and we're going to move into the new place on Saturday. That's a provider. You talking about, Janelle, we don't have enough money to build a house and do this, that, and other on Coyote Pass like we had talked about and agreed upon, and saying that you're providing because you don't want to bend over backwards and help her out. when the money that you're talking about giving her is money that she actually helped to earn. That's not you providing. That's you holding on to and then giving her money back. I'm going to hold your money. Don't you worry, I'm going to hold your money. That's ridiculous. Nobody does that. That's what you do to little kids. I can see, your kid get a birthday present, the grandparents give them some money or something. You're like, give me that. You 5 years old. What you need $200 for? Give me that. When you put it down on Chuck E. Cheese or something. Like, get out what I mean? So you watch your kids' money, but you don't pocket watch your adults and your partner. That's crazy talk. It doesn't make any sense. So with Kody doing that, he's doing that out of a means of control. He's controlling the money because he's diverting the money. Now, when we talk about like the provision and all these things where he's being rewarded, and especially when you talk about the wives, one of the wives that sticks out to me is actually Robin. Robin is the wife who gets blamed for a lot of things because she came in and she ruined the family. She manipulated everybody. I think that, I don't disagree necessarily that Robin has significantly done a lot of things to damage the family, but I will say this. I think that one of the more damaging things that she did is she played into Kody's ego, and she supported and gave him a bad example of what a wife is, because when she showed up, if you think about it, when Robin showed up to the house and she showed up to the family, she came in with her hat in her hand and she was in need and she was requiring to be saved because she had a mountain of debt. She had 3 kids that she couldn't take care of. She had an baby daddy, now ex-husband out there, and she couldn't find a way. So when she married into the Brown family, all of a sudden Kody could become the provider. Kody could become all these things. And Robin, in manipulating him, decided that what she was going to do was she was going to play the helpless, doting wife, where she's always looking to him. Oh, Kody, help me. I want to have a house. I want to have something nice, Kody. And Kody would just give her whatever she wants. Kody, I want to spend more time with you preparing for our love affair. So he gives her a nanny. There's always things that she's doing where she's kind of pulling the strings, and she is manipulating him, but she's also damaging the family because she's providing an example of a wife that, one, doesn't exist really, and two, and more damaging, an example that the other wives are expected to live up to. Now, can Mary go to Kody and demand that he buy her $1 million home? No. Could Christine do it? No. Could Janelle do it? No. There's a lot of advantage that Robin has because she's Robin, and he felt a certain level of attraction to her. He felt a certain level of doting. They have that. Their relationship is defined by her coming to him and doing the things already that he's requiring. There's no change needed. With the other wives, they have a history together, and their history together is not indicative or representative of the type of relationship that he wants. So he's always going to give them a hard time. He's not going to appreciate them the same way he appreciates Robin. It's just not going to happen because he's already used to seeing them a certain way. So even if they do change, it may improve the relationship, but it's not going to fundamentally change their relationship, nor change their status with him. Now, when we talk about love versus respect, when you think about love, you're thinking about care, compassion, you're thinking about support, you're thinking about loyalty. All these things are emotional outlays of that love component. When somebody loves you, these are all the things that you kind of expect people who love you to do. When you think about the term respect, you're thinking about admiration and worship, as we talk about the definition in the first part of the video. What Kody is wanting is he's wanting that admiration. He's wanting his kids, his wives, and everybody around him to talk about what a great, wonderful man he is, what an awesome father, what an awesome husband. He's the best man, and he's the example of what all men should be. This is what all men should aspire to be. And by being those things and being almost, godlike in his religion, being godlike, he expects people to be loyal and obedient to him because he is so wonderful and so great. That's the offshoot of where he talks about respect. So when he talks about respect, what he's talking about is obedience and subservience, where the people are due and owed to him. And so therefore, he's looking for them to answer to him about all their needs, all their desires, and more importantly, put his needs and desires ahead of theirs because they admire him. Now, when Kody talks about respect, we have to look at the true nature of what respect actually is. I try to be respectful to everyone. Everyone I meet, I try to be respectful, and I try to treat them the way that I would want to be treated. I try to give everybody that deference. Now, there is a distinct difference between respecting people versus being respectful to people. Most people are respectful to people. They're not respecting them because they don't know them. They don't admire them. Now, when you respect people, you admire their actions. You admire what they've done. You admire their achievements. And that's where you generate the idea of respect, because respect, unlike love, is a cognitive emotion. So it's emotion that you think about. It's something that you put some mind power into. Whereas love is something that you just feel. Love doesn't a lot of times make any sense. You might love somebody, it makes no sense for you to love that person, but you can respect somebody. When you respect somebody, you've decided to respect them based on certain things that they've done either for you or for others that you look at and say that deserves recognition. Now, when you think about the idea of being respectful, there are three ways that I'll just stay off the top that people can act respectful. You can act respectful out of fear. You could be afraid of somebody. You know, a lot of times old heads will sit around and talk about, when I was a kid, the children were so much more respectful because they had respect for adults, because they knew that if you didn't respect them, they'd backhand you, knock out 3 of your teeth. That's not respect. That's fear. They're afraid of you. They treat you a certain way because they're afraid of what you're going to do to them. And that's not a positive thing. That's not a respectful thing. That's just that they're afraid of you, so they act a certain way. Kody has tried to utilize that fear tactic. If you don't do what I want you to do, then I'm not going to help you build a house on Coyote Pass, Janelle. If you try to leave me, then I'm going to sue you and take away all your money, and I'm going to take Truly, Christine. If you do this or you do that, if you tell people that we're divorced or we're no longer married or we're no longer together, Mary, then I'm going to do this, that, and other. This is all based in fear. This isn't respect. The next example we have of somebody treating you respectfully would be based in the idea of advantage or opportunity. This is where Robin comes in. Robin is treating you respectfully, not because she respects you, but because you present an opportunity and you give her an advantage. So therefore, she treats you a certain way. If you can no longer give her that advantage, you can no longer give her those opportunities, she will stop treating you that way. When you come in and you can take care of her bills, you can take her kids on and you provide for her kids. All her kids got brand new cars sitting outside. Robin got 2-3 cars sitting outside. She living in $1 million home. Oh yeah, she can treat you respectfully. But come in there and talk about, I got an eviction notice yesterday. We're going to have to start selling off some of these cars, and watch how quickly the respectful nature that she treats you is going to disappear. You're going to go from the Don Magic Wand to dog shit in 3.5 seconds. The second you show up, all of a sudden, oh, I've been thinking about our relationship, Kody, and it ain't going to work out. Show up broke with your pockets flat. See what happens. And it very well may happen because you're going to lose your opportunity with TLC. Finally, the type of respect that I'm going to talk about is the type of respect that I tend to have for people and people around me. And that is the respectful way in which I treat people because I respect myself. And I was taught to respect myself by the way I was brought up from my parents and the community I grew up in. So in order for me to treat others with respect, that just basically is me honoring my parents and my community, the people that I grew up around, the people who poured into me, the opportunities and the chances and the investment of time so that I can reach a certain potential. And I respect myself in the sense that I want to be the man that they've envisioned me to be, and I'm striving to be that man every day. So out of respect for the contributions they've had for me, and out of respect for the person that I want to be and the idea and the ideal, the man that they put into me, I have to respect other people, not only their opinions, their views, their religions, their situations, so on and so forth, but I want to understand it because that's who I want to be. So you can act with respect out of the person that you are, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you respect, blind carte blanche, everybody who walks in front of you. You can dislike people who you respect. There are cases in history where people, warlords and generals, would sit down at a meal before they entered into the battlefield the very next day. They would sit down and they'd have a cordial conversation. They talk about their family, they talk about their friends, they talk about their home lives, and then the next morning they would get up, shake hands, the people will go off, they will go off, they get a good, some rest, and then later that afternoon they meet up on a field somewhere and try to kill each other. Like, there's no correspondence between what Kody is talking about to what his ideal of what he thinks he's going to get out of people respecting him. That's my take. I'm James. This has been my take on reality, and I'm out. 'Cause I've been living